overnight and then processing insulin and helping you grow at different times of the day. All of these different organs have different relationships as to what they need throughout the day. Even what was really interesting, they took 500 patients and they put them through heart surgery, just for fun, just as part of the trial. People who did heart surgery in the morning had half the risk of having a fatal cardiac event in the next 500 days versus the people who had surgery in the afternoon. And it was just so consistent. If you have, because recovery is better if you have your surgery in the morning and then recover in the afternoon, as opposed to have your surgery in the afternoon and then recover overnight for that first period of time. Half the risk of a fatal event in the next 500 days. So when you do things, matters. Same surgery, same operations, very, very different results. And so what this means is that our bodies are better at doing certain things throughout the day. So you have your wake up time, anywhere around here, you get a sharp rise in blood pressure, you get highest alertness on average, about 10 a.m. You get best coordination, fastest reaction time, greatest physical prowess, highest blood pressure, highest body temperature, and then your melatonin starts to increase and you start going to sleep, and then all of your recovery happens here. Deeper sleep, lowest body temperature. Your body's doing things throughout the day and it prefers to do things throughout the day. And this isn't a matter of just saying, my lowest body temperature is there, so I should warm myself up. No, your body is meant to be low at that time because your body operates on this thing called amplitude. You need low to warm to know what time of day it is. If it's like this the whole time, you keep it even, your body doesn't have the amplitude, it doesn't get a difference, it doesn't know what time of day it is, and everything starts dysregulating, okay? So it needs that flow throughout the day, and that flow is actually different for everyone. So what happens when you get these clocks out of sync? The way to think about clocks being in or out of sync is like a train line. So you've got Central Station, like Big Ben over here. He's the major clock, right? Central Station. Everyone is marking off our trains start at 5 and our trains finish at 11. And we've got our plan for how everything's going to come in and out of the station. And then what happens? Some guy, loses his umbrella out the side, goes to reach it, big whistles blow, it stops that train for 3 minutes while they're trying to sort it all out. And so now that train's behind. And so what happens is it sets off this cascade of changes throughout the whole network where everyone is now running a little bit later and it might end up being 10 minutes out of whack by the end of the night. And while Big Ben's still ticking along, saying it's this time, all the trains now, like there's people getting pissed off because they didn't get to work on time, and there's people who have missed their train because it's had to turn up early or whatever it might be. There's a little bit of chaos just because those things are out of sync. The central clock is not aligned with the peripheral clocks, the little train clocks. Does that make sense to everyone? Mm-hmm. So it's about making those things in sync. Now, what happens when you get them out of sync? 4 to 8 days of shift work will make you more diabetic. You walk in non-diabetic, you can walk out of shift work looking like a person with diabetes based on how your blood responds. It doesn't take long, and this is just waking up when you're not supposed to, being asleep when your body's not designed to be, and disrupting that. And it also relates to lots of death and disease just by shift work. We are designed to have robots take care of those jobs. This is what we're waiting for, because we've only ever been able to do this for the last 150 years. And we had many millennia of getting used to a 24-hour cycle. Is everyone following that so far? So it's not good that we get out of rhythm. Rhythm is one of the most important things you can consider. And then we have the central peripheral desynchrony. So it's essentially a nice one would be we take a client who's doing a 12-week boot camp, waking up at 5:30 every morning, eating the diet, doing the exercise, and she put on half a kilo and got a bad knee by the end of the 12 weeks. And these other people are running around and they're just loving life and they've ripped down and they're feeling really, really great. This is because her peripheral clock preferred to exercise in the afternoon, and it's saying, why the hell are you awake? You shouldn't be running and jumping and doing all this stress stuff. Our family must be burning down or something, okay? Famine's coming, store. Versus the early birds who love that are actually geared to tolerate stress in the morning because that's when they went out hunting. And so they're designed to be in the chase and jumping and burping and competing to make sure they can kill the beast first because then they get the most food. completely different bodies need different things and are ready for different stresses at different parts of the day. Does that make sense to everyone?
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the number one things that causes digestive problems. One of the number one things that stops you getting body composition change is the wrong time.
Whoa.
Very important. So it's not just through the day, it is also throughout the year. So your tolerance of blood sugar is better in summer than it is in winter. For a given response, for a given amount of carbohydrate, you will have higher blood sugar levels in winter and lower blood sugar levels in summer. Why would that be useful? Yeah, it makes you awesome at storing.
Mm-hmm.
This is really important. No, you're not meant to just regulate everything and have it as a flat line throughout the year. Your body also needs to go through an amplitude throughout the year too. This isn't a weakness, it's just a thing. And a thing that if we're aware of, we can take advantage of. This is the perfect time to build some mass, put some muss on. And you can rip down hard in spring. and be
Hard.
ready, you know? Cut as a mad snake. Then we have increased blood pressure in winter and decreased blood pressure in summer. We have higher cholesterol in winter and lower cholesterol in summer. This makes for a lot more specific types of heart disease in winter and other diseases in summer. And particularly if you wake someone up and it's very, very cold in the morning and they have their blood pressure spike and they're doing exercise they're not supposed to, and they're at risk of heart disease, and they're at winter with their high cholesterol and their higher blood pressure and their higher blood sugar, insulin resistant, whatever it might be, it's just a ticking time bomb waiting for drama. When they prefer to say, look, I'd much prefer sleeping, thanks. It's like that is a very low stress way of dealing with heart disease. So these are things that we often don't get taught, because I was just teaching this to dietitians and they're all going, I've never heard of this stuff before. And I was like, it is insane that no one knows about this. It's insane. So you're very lucky to have easily, and going through all the literature, no one comes close to the comprehensiveness within pH and how accurate it is, how precise it is for each individual as well. So if you take nothing else away from it, you will get so much out of just looking at timing. And so then, across the circle, we know that these guys are more tolerant to high stress in the morning. These guys feed their stress hormones out throughout the day and actually really rise through the afternoon. They really crush it. But what happens is they get up on their early bird clock, they stress, they then burn out mid-afternoon, they caffeinate, they then burn out by 7 and they go to bed at 9 thinking, I'm so an early bird. But meantime, their body's just going through this experience and crashing out, as opposed to gradually coming to a rise and then being able to go to sleep in a nice rhythm. So it's not about, oh, I can wake up early or I can wake up late. It's not about that. It's where can your body tolerate stress. That's what chronotype is about. Early birds tolerate it in the morning. Night owls tolerate it better in the afternoon. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we know so far